So there I was, deep in the Quantico Highlands, alone and unafraid, sitting in my defilade. We've all been there. We've all fought the Centralians. We've all carried our packs across Quantico-like terrain, marching through snow, uphill both ways. We all learn things at TBS through shared suffering. The importance of tough, realistic training, how everything is situationally dependent. As frustrating as this might have been, the experience and knowledge we gained during those 7 months provided a core foundation we all share. One thing all Marines learn, either at TBS or boot camp, is there really is no good way to carry a pack. Only bad ways. Heavy is just heavy. There's no configuration that makes the load feel any lighter than it is. But what we haven't known until now, ladies and gentlemen, is that the weight we felt, the weight every single Marine, officer and enlisted, has felt on their back, we've been paying for in blood. Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Captain Courtney Thompson. I'm here to tell you that the weight of a combat load impacts the survivability of the warfighter, and its impact is now quantifiable. Data collected from nearly 1 million simulated firefights can now be used to assist commanders' decision-making regarding optimal combat loads. Now, most of us make decisions using our own judgment. We've all shaped this, our gut and intuition, through diverse experiences inside and outside of the Marine Corps. Up until about 20 years ago, that gut and intuition was enough. That time is no more. Over the last 2 decades, there's been a seismic shift in how decisions are made and justified. Services like AWS and Google Cloud have shown the power of big data applications. From corporate America to professional sports, decisions are now data-driven. The Marine Corps has also pushed for this shift in mindset, incorporating data where we can in our decision-making processes. Now, there's still immense value in experience, and it should continue to be used in decision-making. However, advancements in technology provide us with a great opportunity to use data to support decisions regarding mission accomplishment and troop welfare. An experience we all share is carrying gear and equipment. Whether it was during our time in the Quantico Highlands, unit training, or while deployed, we all know the more weight you have to carry, the more it sucks. The heavier the load, the slower you move. We all relive this experience every year completing the CFT. During the maneuver under fire, the sprint to the first cone feels drastically different from the sprint back, with our buddies slung across our shoulders, who feel way more than 10 pounds heavier than us. So why does this matter? Well, part of the reason why the Marine Corps has the physical fitness standards it does is because we know that physical performance on the battlefield could mean the difference between life and death. It's why PFT and CFT scores matter for promotion and command. Now, there are plenty of studies that prove increasing load decreases physical performance. In fact, a study released in 2015 showed that increasing load not only decreased physical performance, it also decreased marksmanship precision and accuracy for active duty infantry Marines. This showed that the weight carried also affects the lethality of the warfighter. What hasn't been shown, until now, is that the physical performance decrement caused by a heavier combat load results in an increase in casualties. So what loads am I talking about? Per the infantry TNR, the fighting load is about 65 pounds. It consists of clothing, equipment, weapons, and ammunition that are carried by and essential to the effectiveness of the combat Marine and the accomplishment of the immediate mission. The manual states that the commander must ensure the fighting load be stripped to the bare minimum. The addition of small, lightweight items in excess of the limit should not be tolerated, since cumulatively, these items will take a toll on energy. Every extra pound a Marine must carry decreases combat effectiveness. Every extra pound a Marine must carry decreases combat effectiveness. The assault load, per the TNR, is what is needed during the actual conduct of the assault. It includes minimal equipment beyond water and ammunition. From a human factors perspective, the maximum assault load weight will be such that an average infantry Marine will be able to conduct combat operations with minimal degradation in combat effectiveness. This load amounts to about 80 pounds. But data from a GAO report done in 2017 found that the average combat load carried by Marines in Iraq and Afghanistan was 117 pounds. We're clearly not using these standard TNR loads, which begs the question, why? Well, the TNR also states that the unit commander retains the authority to modify the actual load requirements based on their assessment of the situation. This means that, as new technologies become available, the commander has a decision to make regarding the capability that piece of gear provides and the risk incurred from carrying its weight. This is the commander's play space. This is the commander exercising that authority to modify the combat load. This is where we need to determine what's more important, the technology or the human capability. This is where we need to decide what risk to take, where we balance mission accomplishment and troop welfare. Now this red space, this risk versus capability, can be viewed through two different lenses, the commanders or the warfighters. Increasing the number of capabilities given to the warfighter decreases the commander's risk. With a multitude of technologies available, the warfighter should have every possible advantage over the enemy, increasing their lethality and survivability. Unfortunately, since we're not removing a piece of gear for the addition of another, the load continues to build. What my data shows is that the weight added in order to provide the warfighter with additional technological capabilities results in an increased risk to the warfighter, decreasing their survivability. Basically, increasing the capabilities given to the warfighter decreases the capability of the warfighter. For example, 1,000 simulated battles with loads of 65, 80, and 117 pounds resulted in an average of 9.3, 10.1, and 11.9 casualties respectively for a 13-man rifle squad. The difference between a 65-pound fighting load and a 117-pound actual load is nearly 3 Marines, which under the 12-man squad configuration is an entire fire team. That's you, and you, killed by the weight you carried. Now, as a warfighting institution, we have the opportunity given to us by technology to augment our decisions with data to find the best balance of risk versus capability. We can give commanders at the forward edge of the battle space the data they need to make the best situationally dependent decisions regarding combat load. Armed with the right data, commanders can better determine what risks are worth taking. That makes that red space data-driven. Now, it's no secret that we Marines take pride in our history, for good reason. Although we're proud of what we've accomplished as a service, we also understand the value of learning from past mistakes. As it relates to combat load, we have yet to practice what we preach. While the infantry TNR clearly states that load should be kept to a minimum and that increased weight decreases combat effectiveness, for the last 50 years, the weight our Marines have been required to carry has only gone up. We now have the ability and mindset as an institution to arm our commanders with data that empowers them to take more calculated risks. This is in keeping with our warfighting doctrine, which emphasizes the need for bold and intelligent leaders who take necessary risks. Ladies and gentlemen, we have to learn from our recent experience. We must decrease the weight carried by our Marines, because if we don't, we will pay for that weight in blood. Thank you.